In this video, I want to show you how a training is created. So we're on the Connect homepage. We go to the catalog. We can see that we have categories on the side. So perhaps we want to add a category for a new training. And you might want to have your Connect account in a parallel window or the manual and follow along. To add a new training category, we have to go to the taxonomy, which is found under structure. And here we have the learning path category. Click on learning path category. And you can add a term. Okay, so let's say the new category will be InsurTech. You can always pause the video or make it faster, depending on your pace. Okay, I'm saving the category. So now when I go back to the catalog, where is it? Okay, so InsurTech is now in our categories. And we go back to the catalog. It's not here yet, but if we click on add a new training, we can select it as a category. Okay? And then you'll put a title. Choose the visibility of the training. So I believe if it's public, any logged in user can view it and request to join the training. If it's private or semi-private, the administrators would have to take extra steps to allow a user to join the course. Enabling the forum is probably a good idea so people can post questions. Here you have the category that we've just seen. You can choose the duration of the training if you want it to only last a certain amount of time. You can also enable a certificate. When they've finished the training, they will get a digital certificate. And we're working on customizing it, but for now, the default certificate displays their username, A2I logo, the course, the training name, and so on. You can also upload a new image. That will be the main thumbnail for the training, or select an existing image. And we've already uploaded some test images here, so I'll just select one. You can also require that a different training is completed before the user can start this training. Now I'm clicking next, which the training is now created, and now we can work on the learning path. So we can add courses, which are groups of modules. We can add single modules, and we can add live meetings or instructor-led trainings. And we can choose the order that the user has to complete it in, to complete it or to get a certain score. You can also add things from our archive, like we've already created some modules, so you can add a module that we've already created. For example, one was called Module A. So we can make Module A a mandatory module, and then we could add an instructor-led training, which is going to be taking place on a specific date. We need to refine this more, whether we're using Microsoft Teams or another option. But the training can take place, they can be marked as completed, and it's all within this training. So let's add a new module, create a new module. and show how these activities are created. So I'm going to call this new module C. We can also choose an image to be the image for that module. I won't do it at the moment. And then you have settings like allowing them to resume and come back to the module, to go back and revisit activities that they've already answered, if you want the results to be displayed at the end or not, if they're going to be in a random order, and how many attempts they can use for each question. Okay, I click save. So now we have new module C. And to add activities, so in the next step you can see I imported module A. It has 14 activities. New module C. I can add activities from the activities bank that I've already created, like drag the words, flashcards, or I can create a new activity. So in trainings, probably slide is the type of activity that you would be using. So this can be a title like Introduction to InsurTech. You can add bullet points. You can upload a PDF which is embedded in the slide for this activity. Okay, I think you can add photos as well. So let's embed a PDF. Have the HOI fact sheet as an example. And you can also assign a skill to this activity. In the taxonomy, we have skills as well. So this may not be necessary, but you can have a skills tree. And it looks like this. So you can have like math skills, algebra, types of skills under algebra, or you can add like beginner, expert, advanced under these skills, skill levels and skill trees, but it's not necessary. So if I wanted to choose digital skills, that's the root. You can add another type of category, like a sub skill under the digital skills tree and level, but it's not necessary. But I can show you that in taxonomy and skills it's possible. So I've created these digital skills and leadership potential skills, and this is the root skill. So I can add another skill, and then it can go under the parent skill. Just skip this if you're not looking to add skills. But let's say as a digital skill that you're going to add expert on Zoom, and then you can add scores or different levels. It would go under digital skills. You can add 3 levels, like level 1, 2, 3, or beginner, intermediate, advanced. And then you would have the chance to assign this skill to this activity. So for example, if they complete this activity, they get level 3 under expert on Zoom under digital skills. Okay, so now we have a slide. I'll show how to add a long answer activity. Okay, so if users are beginning a course, you may want to ask them something like, please introduce yourself and list 3 objectives for this training, something like this. And they can get credit for it automatically or manually, where you add a score by a teacher. Okay, let's add another activity. Some of these, such as the course presentation, are types of dynamic activities Actually, you don't necessarily want to click next, but done here. Done within this slide. So click done and it will save it. Then you would click next to save the overall course presentation. Let's add a video to the slides. Copy link from YouTube. Click here to add a video. Add file. Enter the YouTube link. Click done. Adjust the size if necessary. Perfect. A video within the slide. Okay, now we can see we have 3 activities under this new module. Let's go to the home for this training and see what it looks like. Here's the first activity that I made with bullet points and the embedded PDF. This is what it looks like. The second activity that I made was the long answer form. Please introduce yourself and list 3 objectives. And the third activity is the course presentation with the H5P dynamic slides. And this is what it looks like right now. So we have had the introductory bullet points, a little built-in quiz, another sample question, so that is a really basic overview. Now you're in the training also as a user when you go through it like that. Here's where you can access the documents library and the form. The form is enabled so users and administrators can add a forum topic. And when you want to edit the training, you need to click on this button. Then it takes you back to the place where you can modify the structure, add modules, add activities, and enroll learners. So right now there are no members in this training except me, but you can find users and add them. Like I can click on add members, and then I can find Janina and add her, and then send the invitation. So now there are 2 members, Janina and I. If I want to add or edit activities, I go to activities, show activities. There again I can add activities or add activities from the activities bank. So we do have all of the activities that I mentioned in the first video here, but the course presentation with the dynamic slides is the one that I have a feeling we'll be using the most. Just a quick look at drag and drop. This is another activity when you need to make sure to add metadata to the text. So you can optionally add a background image. Then you place the drop zones. This is the activity that I did with the English and French speaking countries. Let's do that again. English speaking countries. The drop zone can only contain 1 element. We won't check this because we'll have more than one elements that can go in the drop zone. Enable auto align. It will look better if all the draggable text is automatically aligned. Okay, so now we have the drop zone for English speaking countries. Then you can add a drop zone French speaking countries. But if you only want to have one drop zone and only drag the correct answers into the drop zone, of course you can. Show label. Okay, then you add the text that can actually be dragged. Okay, let's add USA. It can only be dropped into English-speaking countries. See here, the red asterisk, we have to add metadata. Done. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want to add another drop zone. But to add another text, Morocco would go under French-speaking countries. And I'm not checking this one, infinite number of element instances. This means the element would be cloned and can be dragged to multiple drop zones. Okay, let's leave it here. Add 2 countries. Oh, I didn't add the metadata. Okay, so yeah, we have 2 drop zones and 2 choices. So you can make the fonts look nicer, you can make the background look nicer. Change the positioning, move to front, move to back. They can retry if you select this box. You can require user input before the solution can be viewed. You can give 1 point for the whole tasks, and if this is disabled, then there will be 1 point for each option, so 2 points. They can explain the score explanation. The drop zone can be highlighted, the points, the title. There's many options here. But the basic elements that you need are here. Okay, so that is the basics for how to create a training, to create a learning path, to create modules and activities, and to add members. Remember, the Opigno module is always available, as well as tutorials on HP5, which I will link.